Go ahead and get it started.
Who started this off?
Bro, I thought you said you had some games for us.
Oh, I do. I thought we were going to introduce ourselves.
Your bot.
What's up? I found a friend family. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Jordan Diggs.
Dude, that is not the intro, bro. I thought you said we was going to start.
Bro,
some
it doesn't
games.
have to be the same exact intro
Yes,
every
it does,
time. No,
bro.
it doesn't.
It matters, bro.
It doesn't matter.
People be looking forward to that. It's like a
Who?
It's like a chorus, bro.
Who?
You get used to saying.
Who's dropped a comment that said, "Dang, bro, that intro really got to me."
Anyways,
So we're just going to ignore my intro.
Yeah, we're gonna do your intro. We're gonna cancel that one.
All right, Eric.
Anyways, welcome to the I Found a Friend podcast, where we're your hosts helping you navigate life's journeys. It's your host, Eric Diggs.
Jordan Diggs.
Jonathan Diggs. He definitely did that just so he could have his part. He wanted his part. He's the one who's gonna miss the intro. Anyways, Jordan, kick us off.
Yeah, let's get right to it.
All right. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about what it feels like to transition into adulthood / being in our 20s. But before we get started, I got a few games for us. So the first game is for all three of us to describe each other using 3 words. And I would say I have a lot of experience with this going to college out of state because everyone would be like, what are your brothers like? So I have to describe y'all. So yeah, John, you want to kick us off?
Eric, old man for real. For real's one word. Don't come at me. For Jordan, I would say creative, driven, and unique.
I get old man for real.
That's
it's creative,
crazy.
driven, and unique.
John, I would say dope. I would say creative also, and I would say comedian. I feel like you're pretty funny. Eric, I would say wise. I would say motivated, and I would say let's see, stubborn.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Eric's like, that's not how I thought it would go.
I didn't know how this is good. We're on the spot right now. So
Before Eric, you get into yours, I will say that we went to a potluck yesterday, and someone was like describing Eric. They're like, "Eric, you're just so wise." Like all these people who are older than Eric are just like so surprised by how like profound and wise Eric says, because he just like hits you with those like motivational quotes or just like intuitive, life lessons out of nowhere. So people are like, "Wow, Eric, you're so wise." It's pretty awesome to see.
I didn't even hear anybody say that. That's cool though.
Nick be hyping you up for real.
Nick, that's my guy for real.
Shout out Nick.
Nick's the man for real, bro. For John, I would say drippy, creative, clueless. This man always losing something. This man, he the youngest. Like he really carried little bro energy for real. Just like that la type mentality. Yeah, that's John.
Bro said he gonna get back.
He's not wrong though, because you lost your wallet the other day. I was like, "Come on, John."
That's what I'm
It was
saying.
in my pocket, bro.
It's not the first time he's lost his wallet.
It won't be the last.
You get that from dad though. Jordan, I would say schemer, because this man really be scheming some stuff up in the background that you would never know. Determined and vibrant. I feel like people are always just attracted to Jordan. Like people always describe Jordan as like a pure soul and stuff. So
That's awesome. That's actually really funny because if you don't know, John and I are twins, and it's our birthday today. So
yeah,
Big whoop.
shout out to our birthday. But
big 22.
yeah, people always just when they describe us as twins, they're like, "John looks like the evil one."
That's so crazy, bro.
I have no idea where they got that from, but they're like, "Yeah, there's just something up with John." And like, "Yeah, Jordan, you're like the really nice, kind one."
They're colorist.
Now, what it is that Jordan is just a social butterfly. So he will go out of his way to talk to people, and he's really good at being a conversationalist. That's another word I could use for him because he knows how to carry conversations, start conversations, and just has really good social skills in general. So it can make it look like he's more open, where me and John, we can seem standoffish at times until you get to know us, and then you realize, oh, all three of the Diggs brothers are pretty cool. But Jordan, he's going to, be cool right off the bat with you.
That's one thing I will say is like we all have our 3 distinct, unique personalities, but we're all like very like funny in our own ways. We all are very conversationalists, and yeah, we're all good vibes. So that's one way I would describe the Diggs bros together. It is interesting because, as I said, I went away for college for a while. So it's just been John and Eric in Nashville. So like reintroducing myself to everybody and like people they've already met before. It's pretty cool. The other day, someone was like, I didn't know that there was a third one of y'all. I was like, yeah. Hi, guys. It's me, Jordan. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Okay, so that was the first game. The second game that I have, and I got to pull it up really quick,
Ooh, there's more.
is who's most likely to. So I'm just going to read off a couple questions. We got to figure out who's most likely to do this.
This will be fun.
Yeah, this will be real fun.
All right. So who's most likely to laugh at the wrong moment?
It's gonna be between me and Eric.
me and John,
It's gonna be
that's
me
for
and Eric for sure.
Yeah.
I could go either way.
I feel like we all know this one, but who's most likely to cry in a sad movie?
Jordan,
Yeah, Jordan for sure.
for sure.
I have not seen my brothers cry before. I think it's really weird because like even at funerals, they'll just be like holding it in. I'm like, y'all are emotionless.
Because I cry in secret.
I cried at Rogan's funeral. It was dark though.
Gotcha.
So nobody saw me. It happened.
That's funny. Who's
RP,
most likely
homie.
to?
Yeah, RP, bro.
I feel like a lot of these. Okay, be close to dad. Who's most likely to be closer to dad?
I'll say Eric.
Yeah, I feel like Eric.
I guess, yeah. We do a lot of business stuff and stuff like that, so it makes sense.
Yeah, football business.
We all be the favorite child. Okay, this doesn't even have to be with our parents, but just like with relatives, it's Eric.
It's Eric, but like with other people, I would say it's you.
Really?
Yeah, outside of the family, it's you.
Actually, no, I feel like it's you because you have like a lot of influence and clout. Everyone's like, St. John. Everyone loves
I think it depends on
you.
the
group.
It depends on the
I guess
group.
it's balanced then,
Yeah.
Yeah, because even Eric too, everyone loves Eric. So yeah.
to a certain extent.
But yeah, with like our grandparents and stuff, Eric's pretty much the favorite child. Like he got money on our birthday one time.
That was crazy. That was actually crazy. Okay, y'all, let's just interrupt this group, bro. So, I don't know how to explain it, bro. So people always ask me, what's it like to be a twin? And I'm like, it's fantastic. I love it, but it's also overrated. I don't know if I would want to put my kid through that. See, you have a struggle being an individual. And then people always associate you and Jordan together or, you and your twin together. So once we finally branched off, it was really different. But that being said, growing up on our birthday, people would be like, oh, it's a twin's birthday. We'll give them a gift. You get half of the gift that most people get because you're twins. They
So,
split
like,
it in two.
Eric would get $50 and we would get like 25 each.
And they thought we didn't know this, but we knew. We knew. Well, one day it's our birthday.
Wait, y'all not the same person?
Crazy, right? So we're celebrating. And next thing I know, someone who will not be named gives Eric money as well. And then she was like, oh, I just felt bad because, I don't want to leave him left out. We get left out every year on Eric's birthday. You don't see us crying about it. But hey, I digress.
But y'all get left out together. Like, you can't leave me out by myself.
That's so crazy.
I ain't got nobody to feel my pain with.
I remember one time at Christmas, we played this game where we have raffle tickets and like we kind of like raffle for Christmas. It's like a Christmas auction. So one time, Eric, all of us had like ran out of tickets, but my grandma had extra tickets left for the raffle. And she's like, oh, Eric, I'll give you the rest of mine. We're like, what about us, Grandma?
Bro, don't hate the player at the game.
I was like, that's crazy.
Bro, but they don't understand. Like, I'm the firstborn, so I also get like the most scrutiny on me as well. And I got the most pressure, so it balances out.
Yep.
I think you put pressure on yourself too, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a lot more responsibility. Again, like, he's the youngest, he wouldn't understand. Talked about this earlier.
Hey, let's go ahead and talk about it, Eric. Like, how does it feel to be the oldest brother? Do you feel more pressure upon you?
I mean, you the one setting the tone for everything. So good or bad, everybody's looking at you and learning from you. Also, like, parents, it's like first child. So you are the, how do you describe that?
Experiment?
Yeah, pretty much like the experiment. So like, they're doing stuff and they're adjusting. So by the time they get down, ideally, by the time they get down to you guys, it's like, okay, we kind of worked out our kinks. But with us being so close in age, like a lot of stuff is still being worked out all at the same time. But still, like, it's still like clear that I'm the oldest, So everything I'm doing it first.
That's true. Wow, I was just about to say something, but my mind went blank.
How do you feel about being the middle child? Or just go down the line.
I feel like there's less pressure on the middle child. I feel like the oldest child and the youngest child get the most attention per se in terms of like, all right, the oldest is like expected to be the standard and like the mature one, and then the youngest one gets like a lot of attention. I don't know. I feel like I was kind of removed from that, so I feel like it's less pressure.
Mm.
You know, I was gonna say, it's interesting because y'all are twins, like fraternal twins. They don't look alike. For people like, what, y'all are twins? Y'all look like, but like, there's still like true oldest energy, middle child energy, and youngest child energy. It's kind of weird how that actually like the dynamics still play out.
Yeah.
I would say so too. Yeah.
What about you being the youngest child? How does that feel?
Despite me being the youngest child, having the youngest child energy, I don't think I got treated that much different for being younger. It's not like they'll be like, "Oh, John the baby, bro, it was 2 minutes." Be for real. But like, like Eric said, I'm a lot more carefree than they are. I would describe them as like type A personalities. I'm definitely more type B. I'm pretty lenient, pretty loose in how I carry myself. But yeah, I don't really think I felt like I was just a baby for real, or I got spoiled or extra treatment for being the youngest.
Yeah. One thing I will say is that John and I really learned from Eric. We would sit back and watch. So Eric was more like the rebellious child, right? He's like kind of creating his own path, and we would be like, okay, if he gets in trouble for that, that's exactly what we're not gonna do. Yeah. So I feel like we kind of got like not as much in trouble growing up, especially in high school. I feel like Eric.
No comment.
What you mean?
All right, I feel like John got in the most trouble out of us all. Eric second, and then like me least. Would that be like a fair assessment?
I think that's accurate.
That's definitely accurate.
Got you. All right, let's get into a couple more questions. So, who's most likely to get married first?
I think it'd be between me and Eric.
Yeah.
Most likely Eric with the track he's going on, but that's a whole conversation in itself. So I'll say between me and Eric.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
I'd definitely say between me and John too, though.
Yeah. Who's most likely to start their own business?
I'll say all three of us kind of already done that to a certain extent.
Technically, I beat all y'all to it if y'all want to.
Yeah, I guess officially, yeah.
Did you? Because I had a candy business in high school. And a mini-me set in middle school.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah.
They really be trying to stunt you in school, bro. Be hating.
Yeah. That's funny. But let's go ahead and get into the main topic of this podcast. Is just like transitioning into our 20s, just transitioning into adulthood. How we feeling? Let's give them a little life update as to where we are in life right now.
Yeah, so like even like with these games, that was just like a little quick trip down memory lane. But now everybody is graduated from college. So the twins, they graduated this past month from their schools, and now everybody's back together. And now everybody's experiencing the same transition all at the same time. Like, what's it like, no longer being in that bubble, because school is a bubble. Now you're in the real world now.
Facts.
Now you got real problems and real consequences. So now we're all kind of navigating that together. And so we were like, man, let's just talk about it on this pod, because I know a lot of our listeners are around our age and going through that or about to go through that.
One thing I will say about like recently graduating college is a crazy experience, because like, like your college community, you have your friends, you have like a set path in front of you. But when you graduate, it's like, okay, you don't really have anything set in stone in terms of like what you're supposed to be doing next. And you don't necessarily have that community of people. So for me, I will say like I kind of got sad for a bit in terms of like thinking, oh, I'm losing, all these people who like I could just like easily hang out with whenever I wanted to. Like I no longer have them as accessible to me. But also I feel like I'm really grateful and blessed to have two brothers who are like in the same phase of life as me, because I feel like I don't have to do it alone, So what about you, Eric? How was transitioning out of college? Because your journey was a little bit different.
Yeah, my journey is different because I was also a student athlete. And so, as a student athlete, everybody has like the dream and desire of going to the league. We don't just play this game for fun. We're trying to get to the bag too at the same time. So, you put in a lot of time, a lot of hours, effort, years after years, like grinding and perfecting your craft, hoping to be that part of that 1%, right? And then eventually, no matter who you are, eventually you got to hang up the cleats and you got to start your life. And so mine just happened to be a lot sooner than what I would want it to be. And so for me, it's like finding something new to put that purpose and energy towards. It's been the challenge for me during this transition season. But, right now I am working. And with me working, it's allowing me to finally, get some money in the pocket, start establishing something, getting a good budget, get my finances straight, and preparing to like just be out on my own. But it's also giving me time to like think about what do I want to do, what I want to pursue at the same time. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now, just kind of locking in. Like I'm happy to have my brothers back because I think before everybody graduated from college, everybody was off on their own doing their own thing. But now with everybody being back, we've been more intentional about let's lock in together and let's build something together. And so I'm really excited about that.
I will say that's probably the most exciting part about, I guess, transitioning into adulthood is like building. Like we know we want to accomplish a lot of things in life. So we're like focused on building, like getting our money right, making sure we're making the right investments, making sure we're pouring our time and energy into things that we're passionate about. Cause I feel like you can either have like a job or you can build like a career for your life. And I think we're all trying to do that, is build careers that are going to be successful years down the road. And we were talking about this the other day, but like the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Like there's a difference in what we want to do as the Diggs brothers is be wealthy as a collective.
Sheesh. Okay. Yeah.
How are you feeling about your transition out of college, Sean?
I think that there's like a lot of pressure. There's the feeling of I'm behind for my age. There's also the feeling that I'm ahead for my age, and it's a really weird tension. I don't know how else I could explain it. Like you have to find a job, you have to make sure that your living situation is worked out. You got to make sure you have X, Y, and Z. But at the same time, it's like I've got a lot going for myself. So just trying to figure it out. I do have to remind myself that what I see on social media is not normal. Once again, seeing millionaires at 22 or social media millionaires, because you could fake all of that, which is a whole nother conversation once again. But just seeing all of these things that are perpetuated by, the American dream that's blasted all over social media. It's like, oh, I'm behind. I got to make sure I'm doing X, Y, and Z. But, at the same time, I'm in a great position. Like I can't complain. I got a family that's locking in, supporting me. I got a lot going for me as well. So it's just like following God, trusting God, putting him first, and then letting everything else fall into place as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So this transition phase has been pretty busy. As soon as I graduated, it didn't really slow down. It still hasn't really slowed down for me. Been a busy summer. I can't complain though. I'm thankful. I'm excited for what the future has to hold.
Yeah, but y'all still pretty early in that process. I know like that pressure thing is real because it's like, based on where you are, like for me, like graduating from an Ivy League university, having my mind right, having like no debt or very little debt at this point in my life. Like on paper, there's a lot of things that, like you're set up to be ahead of where you are in terms of like those people around your age. But at the same time, like I don't have much tangible stuff to show for it right now.
Exactly.
And that's where the pressure and like the weird feeling comes from. It's like I know what I have that's put me ahead of everything, but it's just not tangible quite yet. And so now it's like, how can I work to make that tangible? Because I know once it becomes tangible, like there ain't no looking back.
Yeah, I feel like what you and John were saying, because John was saying like he feels like he's ahead, but like almost behind in a certain way. And I feel like that's for all of us. Like we've been building like social media followings and preparing ourselves to do X, Y, and Z, but we don't have anything tangible yet to show for it. So that can be like the nerve wracking, like, or the scary part is we don't have that yet, but we know we've set ourselves up just right. So when it does hit, we're going to be ready to run with it. So I'm really excited just for like this next phase. Cause, just to update you guys on a little bit where we are as brothers, we're transitioning or like preparing ourselves to like, get our own place together. We definitely want to do life together. I think that's the cool thing. Cause I know at a certain point in my life, I thought, like I'm just gonna go off on my own and like go all the way over here and just like do my own thing. But just to really like sit down with my brothers and be like, hey, let's just do life together, So I love that, and I love that we all are on board with this and excited about it. Like I feel like none of us feel any type of weird way about transitioning together.
Not at all.
I think the hard thing about like doing life together, or just this transition phase in general, is understanding that these next few steps are crucial to plan out the rest of my life. So it's like you kind of have to figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your life, or at least the next phase of your life at such a young age that it's like, oh, I want to make sure that I'm not doing something that's going to jeopardize my career, my future, which is why I say, pray about it, talk to God about it, have that relationship in place so where you can have, spiritual advice, but also have sound mentors in your life that can help you say, hey, you should probably do this, or you probably should do that. You should invest here. You probably should invest here. Just having that good community around you to help you navigate this process, because it takes a village to raise a child, and you're going to continue to need that village throughout the rest of your life. And if you don't have that important community around you, this next phase can just be very, very overwhelming when it doesn't necessarily have to be.
Yeah, people always describe me as wise. One of the reasons why is because I love like talking to older people just in general. And so I pick up on so much advice and wisdom from people's experiences and stories. And that's something I've been even more intentional about since I've been in college, like surrounding myself with just older men who have been where I'm at, so I can learn from their successes and from their failures so that they can see where I'm at and help point me in the right direction. And that's something that I've been like doing heavy, and I've been encouraging my brothers to do the same thing, like find people to pour into your life. Like people have been where you are as a man, people have been where you are career-wise, so like lean on those people to help you navigate this. Don't think you have to do this all by yourself. So any wisdom that I have is not just because I'm wise, it's just because I take the time to just sit down and listen to other people.
Yeah, along those lines, one piece of advice that Dad gave us recently, which I really appreciated, was like when like later in life when you look back on like this era in our life, this part of our life, we're gonna realize somehow like everything worked itself out, and somehow like things that we were worried about were like seemingly inconsequential. Now like you can see the grand scheme of things. So that just like let me know not to put so much pressure on myself, to be kind with myself, patient with myself. Because I know, John, you said you feel like you have to have your whole life figured out, but that's not true. Like we're so young, we don't have to have our whole life figured out right now. So just like be ambitious, go for what you want, but also at the same time, don't put that much pressure on yourself to where you feel like the world's gonna end if I don't make the right choice right now.
I think. Oh, you're gonna say? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like even like going off what Jordan said, like a real life example of that we've all experienced. It's like thinking about high school. Like in high school, I feel like everything was the biggest deal. Like you was worried about the shoes you was wearing, the haircut you was wearing. You're just trying to be popular, talking to this girl, this and that, trying to achieve this goal for school and for athletics. And now I'm at the point it's like none of that stuff matters. And I only talked to a handful of people from high school. And so like even now it's like I'm looking back, I'm like, okay, like don't put so much pressure on this moment right now, because 5, 10, 15 years down the line, like it's gonna be so minuscule.
Yeah, that understanding of what matters and what doesn't can be very hard, because in the moment, like you have to get your mind out of the perspective that you're in. Like it's really hard to explain, or not hard to explain. It's just like hard to conceptualize. Like this moment is so significant now, but in 10 years, in 5 years, in a month from now, will it even matter? I remember I was doing this midterm, and it was stressing me out so much that like it was like visible on my face. And my dad was like, John, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? I'm like, I got this midterm, I got X, Y, and Z going on, blah, 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 blah. These people not doing their job. He was like, dude, like, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, you're going to get it done. You'll figure it out. You're a good student. You know that. A week from now, you're not going to care about it. And I just laugh at myself now, not thinking about it, because like, yeah, it ended up working itself out, and I was stressing myself out, and I really didn't need to, because at the end of the day, like, it wasn't one of those long-term things that matter. And I think that just kind of like shifting the topic a little bit, I remember talking to you, Darren, Jordan, about how we wanted to live our life, and you're just saying like, oh, you got that little bro attitude once again. But we're talking about finances and how I was like shifting my perspective on how I want to use my finances and what I wanted to do with it. Like a goal for me is to make sure that my family's well taken care of, but I also want to travel a lot. I want to have experiences. And I just started understanding, like, at the end of the day, yes, you can stack generational wealth, and that's fantastic. But if you throw your life away doing that, and you don't have experiences, you don't have bonds built with people, you don't have, deep relationships, those experiences are so much more valuable than that generational wealth that you don't even get to touch, that you don't even get to enjoy, that your family might not even necessarily care about as much because they wanted to spend time with you, but you're spending time 60 hours at work. And it's like, yeah, I get you're trying to go somewhere, but have that balance. Understand that life is not always about chasing money and chasing things that are not necessarily going to be within your reach to enjoy in your lifetime.
I mean, even thinking about that, I was talking to our granddad was over here earlier today, and he was just talking about like, you know, his whole life, like he had so many different kids from different baby mamas and stuff like that. So he was working 18, 20 hours a day, working 2 different jobs, 7 days a week. And with that, like you have kids around you and you just don't spend no time with them because as soon as you get home from work, you're going to sleep and you wake up and you leave the house again. So they never see you and you never spend any quality time with them. And then you get to this point where you are now, you know, just talking like with my dad and talking about some of my aunts and uncles. And it's like, man, like, I'm glad that you provided for us, but like we would rather you have spent time with us. And one thing I was also like what John's saying, like experiences is so much better than anything else. Like you can make all the money in the world, but if you're not experiencing it with people that you love, it don't really mean anything at the end of the day. And so also like I've been thinking heavy about just the quality of life I want to live, because if you can quantify that, and I talked about this on the previous EP, like it's so much cheaper than what you think, the quality of life versus just chasing, oh, I just want to make a lot of money.
Facts.
Like if I do want to have these travel and make these experiences and drive certain things, live a certain place, and I just put a quantity on that, then I know what I'm chasing for. I know what goal I'm seeking after, and then anything else is just excess. I'm just giving that away, you know. So
Yeah, you said exactly what I was gonna say. Is like we're focused on improving our quality of life, and that's just like a holistic approach to life. It's not just financially, but it is also relationships. It's also spiritual, you know. I think that's what we put value on, and that I'm learning more and more. Like we're gonna make money, of course, but that's not like the pinnacle of life. Is not making a whole bunch of money, because like at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who make a whole bunch of money and aren't happy at all. They're not satisfied with life. Money doesn't satisfy you. So I think just like being intentional about pouring time in, just being intentional about pouring time into things that actually matter is huge and key.
Because the biggest question is like, when is it enough? You know, oh, I made $1 million. Well, I made $1 million. I might as well keep going. It's like, when is it enough? So that quality of life, that understanding that me and my family are taken care of, we're comfortable, and I'm still enjoying life. I don't necessarily need to be the richest to do so. People are like, oh, I want a man that is making 6 figures. Do you have a 6-figure lifestyle? Like, what are you trying to do that requires somebody that makes 6 figures for real? Like, or like, why are you striving after that 6 figures? Is it so that you actually can enjoy the quality of life that you want? Or is it because you can say that in a social setting, it makes you feel better about yourself and you're insecure? Like, it's just such an interesting perspective switch when you think about, why do I want the things that I really want?
right, do you want it for yourself personally, or is it to make your ego, boost your ego? Because there's a lot of ego boosting and ego chasing out here today. Like you just wanted to say you look good to everybody else, but like when you get home, guess what? Nobody else is there but you. When you sleeping by yourself, like that's just you. That got to deal with it.
One thing that we all get, one comment that we all get is like, y'all are so humble, because when people like find out like everything we've accomplished so far, they're like, whoa, that's pretty impressive, you know, for your age. And I think that's what I appreciate about like my brothers and I is like, we, I don't know, we don't feed into that ego of trying to impress anybody. We don't feel like we need to be anybody, because I feel like the people who really got it, they know they got it, and they don't need to go, oh yeah, I got this many followers and I got this car and I got this cash, and just like flexing. Like that's not, you don't really got it when you have to do all of that, honestly. So
I mean, those people, like, who are you trying to impress for real? Like those people that you trying to impress, they're not gonna be there for you in your lowest moments. But it's like my close circles, my family, like my close friends. Those are people I care about. And that's the people I want to make sure I'm taking care of, and I'm going to make sure they're taken care of. And so, like, just knowing that, like, it makes life so much easier and less stressful. Like, I'm not trying to prove myself to the world. I just want to make sure that I'm taken care of, my family and close friends are taken care of, and be good. We're going to live life together and make memories. But along that journey, we're going to impact the world. You know, we're going to have influence. You know, we're going to make money. We're going to achieve things. But my focus and my heart is in the right place, and that's what's most important at the end of the day. Where's your heart at?
I love that mindset. Andrew Carnegie had like this quote. He was said, I think, I'm gonna spend like the first half of my life making as much money as possible, and the second half like giving it back. So I think you said we're gonna impact the world. Just having that mindset of like whatever we do build, we want to give that back. I think it's better to have a selfless mindset than a selfish mindset. And that saying is just like whatever we do, like we want to give back. We want to pour back into our community, back into our church, back into other people's lives who need it and who have impacted us. So
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, bro. You know me, I give my food out all the time. I give out. If I got it, bro, I'm a share. We all got that heart. We all got that heart.
I'm gonna share it for sure. I just think about like even like don't want to be super morbid, but like thinking about people on their deathbed. I've never heard anybody on their deathbed say, I wish I made more money." It's always about like I wish I had a better relationship with my son or my daughter, like or these people around me. I wish I spent more time doing this or doing that. I wish I spent less time grinding and just enjoying life. There's so much on this world. Go enjoy it. Go, what do we always say? Go touch grass. Like, get outside, man. Get off the phone. Like, get out the office. Like, do something and enjoy life with those around you.
that's so interesting because we were having a conversation about this a couple months back. But like some of the happiest people on the earth are people who are not necessarily, the richest people. They just have like a community who loves them and they just spend time, go out during the day and just spend time with each other. Those are like the happiest people on earth.
Relational currency. The best currency you can have.
Yeah, my love language quality time. So if I can go out, get a meal, talk. I love that. It's my favorite thing to do.
All right, but let's get on the conversation, like kind of navigating that because it can be hard. Because we were talking about this, like we're in the age of social media, so we have long distance friendships and then like in person friendships. So how's that been navigating that for you guys?
It's been interesting for sure. Like my girlfriend, like we're long distance, and then two of our closest friends, they're long distance as well. And so you want to have time where you're, making sure that you take time to cultivate those relationships and ask meaningful questions and stuff like that and go deeper and genuine and stay connected. But you also don't want to neglect the people that are in your inner circle right now around you. And so that's something I've been like, okay, like I got to make sure I'm still plugging into the people around me, even though I know I got some of my closest friends are away right now. Because at the end of the day, you can't get back this time with these people. And so you want to make the most of everything that you have.
I say for me, it's just the communication piece. They have to be understanding, and you have to be willing to communicate as well. That if I'm not talking to you, it's not a reflection on our relationship. It's just I'm enjoying life. I don't necessarily want to be on my phone, but at the same time, I'll make time for you. I've been telling my friends a lot lately, like I don't care to text every day. It's not personal. There's just a lot of people that I contact, and it's hard for me to keep up. And I feel like a bad friend if I'm constantly leaving you undelivered or, you know what I'm saying, and not replying. I'd rather just call, have that, that tonality behind the conversation. It just seems more authentic too than just texting all day. So for me, it's just, like I said, communicating, saying, hey, I'm trying to enjoy my personal life, or hey, I'm taking a break from my phone, but I still love you. I still care about you. And we'll talk when we can. We'll hang out when we can. And that's what it is.
Yeah, I feel like the best friendships are the ones that you don't need to constantly be feeding, in terms of like you need to always be texting or always be, talking on the phone. The best friendships are the ones where you can kind of take a little bit of space from each other. You both enjoy your lives individually and then just come back and it's like nothing, like time hasn't passed between you. I have a friend, she's currently in Argentina and she'll be going to Japan and she'll be studying abroad in Japan for a year. And she just texted me today, like congratulating me on my birthday, and we were just like catching up for a bit. But she was like, when I get back to Japan, like I want to intentionally set aside time just to like talk to you and like catch each other up on our lives. So that's what we're gonna do. But I think friendships like those I appreciate because we don't need to be talking every day, but we're intentional about, okay, let's make a time to catch each other up. So
I love that, bro.
I got so many thoughts on that, but I'll just save it. I'll just say it like this, though. Most people don't even have anything to talk about for real. It's just they feel lonely, and they're using you as a resource to not even, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, a lot of people have a lot of online friends, but it's ever since COVID, having in-person friends is pretty rare for a lot of people.
It's not the same, bro. Like, online community is not the same as in-person community. I don't care what people say.
And I just realized that because we went to a potluck party yesterday, and that was not my first time being, but it was like one of my first few times being over someone else's house and just being in a community of people, just like playing board games, having fun, listening to music, dancing, laughing. Being in that environment was just so fulfilling and wholesome and just like alive. I don't know, you just feel electrified by people's presence. So
Yeah.
it is so different texting someone on the phone all day, even in a group chat, texting group chat all day versus being together with that group doing stuff.
Oh yeah, like our best memories with our homies and stuff is like when we are together in person.
Yeah.
And those memories, like we literally talk about those all the time because no matter how many FaceTime conversations we have or funny group chats that we have, is nothing beats like when we get together and do stuff together.
I guess to recenter and refocus the conversation back to like transition, a lot of it is just understanding what you want out of life, out of your relationships, out of all aspects, you know, like we said, that holistic approach, understanding how you want to navigate things and just taking time to think and reflect about it, because there's a lot of people that are going into college. There's a lot of people that are graduating from college or just in between jobs, whatever transition looks like for you. Take time to sit back, reflect, think about where you're going in life and what you want out of life and what you want out of the things around you.
Something else I want to say on that is this is the season now, like, so like fresh out of college, like no family, no kids. Like this is the season, like take risk, do everything. Oh, you want to write a book? Write a book. You want to make a song? Make a song. You want to start a business? Start a business. Don't be afraid to fail. Try everything, fail, and learn from it. Like there's nobody else you're responsible for but yourself. Like who else you trying to impress? Like continuously focus on that self-improvement, continuously try new things and give yourself new challenges and go places and experience things. Like don't be afraid. Like don't be playing safe. This is the time to get after it.
That's so true, because I feel like a lot of people have that mindset. Well, like, oh, well, I'll do that in the future. You know, like when I have X and Y and Z, I'm gonna do that. But it's like, no, this is the time. As exactly what Eric said. Like, especially when you're like freshly transitioning, you know, it's the time to go after everything that you've kind of wanted to do but put to the side, because you can say I'm gonna do this X, like, you know, in the future, and you know, the future gets here and you've not done anything that you wanted to do with your life. So.
And tomorrow is not promised, bro.
It's true.
I didn't realize that until last year when we talked about the homie that passed away. Like, you know, unfortunate reality is that people do die at young ages. And so do things while you can.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what I've been realizing recently, especially during this time of our life, is just like to appreciate everybody, you know. You never know. I think the older you get, the more you realize how like life isn't promised, you know, how mortal we all are. So just appreciate, learn, grow, and yeah, continue to be your best self.
And I love that. I love like just know what you want. Take time for the people around you and relax, slow down, enjoy life, have fun, make memories, make it special. Thank you guys for listening to the I Found a Friend podcast, where if you didn't have a friend, now you found one.